Chapter 46. Excellence and Etiquette of Sincere Love for the Sake of Allah. Anas bin Malik, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, the Prophet said, "There are three qualities. Whoever has them will taste the sweetness of Iman. To love Allah and His Messenger more than anyone else, to love a slave of Allah only for the sake of Allah, and to abhor returning to infidelity after Allah has saved him from it, as he would abhor to be thrown into the fire of hell." Al-Bukhari and Muslim. Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, the Prophet said, 7 are the persons whom Allah will give shade of His throne on the day when there would be no shade other than His throne's shade: a just ruler, a youth who grew up worshipping Allah, a man whose heart is attached to mosques. 2. Persons who love and meet each other and depart from each other for the sake of Allah, a man whom an extremely beautiful woman seduces for illicit relation, but he rejects this offer by saying, "I fear Allah," a man who gives in charity and conceals it to such an extent that the left hand does not know what the right has given, and a person who remembers Allah in solitude and his eyes well up. Al-Bukhari and Muslim. Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, Messenger of Allah said, on the day of resurrection, Allah, the Exalted, will say, "Where are those who have mutual love for the sake of my glory? Today I shall shelter them in my shade, when there will be no shade except mine." Muslim. Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, Messenger of Allah said, "By him in whose hand my soul is, you will not enter Jannah until you believe, and you shall not believe until you love one another. May I inform you of something? If you do, you love each other. Promote greeting amongst you by saying, Assalamu alaikum to one another. Muslim. Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, the Prophet said, a man set out to visit a brother in faith in another town, and Allah sent an angel on his way. When the man met the angel, the latter asked him, "Where do you intend to go?" He said, "I intend to visit my brother in this town." The angel said, "Have you done any favor to him?" He said, "No, I have no desire except to visit him because I love him for the sake of Allah, the Exalted and Glorious." Thereupon the angel said, "I am a messenger to you from Allah, to inform you that Allah loves you as you love him, for his sake." Muslim. Al-Bara bin Azib, may Allah be pleased with them, reported, the Prophet said about the Ansar, "Only a believer loves them, and only a hypocrite hates them. Allah loves him who loves them, and Allah hates him who hates them." Al-Bukhari and Muslim. Mu'ad bin Jabal, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, Messenger of Allah said, Allah, the Exalted, has said, For those who love one another for the sake of my glory, there will be seats of light on the day of resurrection, and they will be envied by the prophets and martyrs. At-Tirmidhi, who classified it as hadith Hasan Sahih. Abu Idris al-Halani, may Allah had mercy upon him, reported, I once entered the mosque in Damascus. I happened to catch sight of a young man who had bright teeth, i.e., he was always seen smiling. A number of people had gathered around him. When they differed over anything, they would refer it to him and act upon his advice. I asked who he was, and I was told that he was Mu'adh bin Jabal, may Allah be pleased with him. The next day, I hastened to the mosque, but found that he had arrived before me and was busy in performing salat. I waited until he finished, and then went to him from the front, greeted him with salam, and said to him, By Allah, I love you. He asked, For the sake of Allah? I replied, Yes, for the sake of Allah. He again asked me, Is it for Allah's sake? I replied, Yes, it is for Allah's sake. Then he took hold of my cloak, drew me to himself, and said, Rejoice, I heard Messenger of Allah saying, Allah the Exalted says, My love is due to those who love one another for my sake. Meet one another for my sake. Visit one another for my sake, and spend in charity for my sake. Malik. Abu Karima al-Mikdam bin Madkarib, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, the Prophet said, When a man loves his brother for Allah's sake, let him tell him that he loves him. Abu Dawud and at-Tirmidhi, who classified it as hadith Sahih. Mu'adh bin Jabal, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, Messenger of Allah held my hand and said, O Mu'adh, by Allah, I love you, and advise you not to miss supplicating after every salat prayer, saying, Allahumma a'inni ala dhikrika wa shukrika wa husni ibadatika. O Allah, help me remember you, expressing gratitude to you, and worship you in the best manner. Hadith Sahih, Abu Dawud and an-Nasa'i. Anas bin Malik, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, A man was with the Prophet when another man passed by, and the former said, O Messenger of Allah, I love this man, for Allah's sake. Messenger of Allah asked, Have you informed him? He said, No. Messenger of Allah then said, Tell him that you love him. So he went up to the man and said to him, I love you for the sake of Allah. And the other replied, May Allah, for whose sake you love me, love you. Abu Dawud. Chapter 47. Signs of Allah's love for his slaves, and the efforts for its achievement. Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, Messenger of Allah said, Allah the Exalted has said, I will declare war against him who treats with hostility a pious worshipper of mine, and the most beloved thing with which my slave comes nearer to me is what I have enjoined upon him, and my slave keeps. On coming closer to me, through performing nawafil, voluntary prayers, or doing extra deeds besides what is obligatory, until I love him, so much so that I become his hearing, with which he hears, and his sight, with which he sees, and his hand, with which he strikes, and his leg, with which he walks. And if he asks me something, I will surely give him, and if he seeks my protection, refuge, I will surely protect him. Al-Bukhari. Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, the Prophet said, when Allah loves a slave, calls out Jibril and says, I love so-and-so, so love him, then Jibril loves him. After that, he, Jibril, announces to the inhabitants of heavens that Allah loves so-and-so, so love him. And the inhabitants of the heavens, the angels, also love him, and then make people on earth love him. Al-Bukhari and Muslim. Another narration of Muslim is, Messenger of Allah said, when Allah loves a slave, he calls Jibril, Gabriel, and says, I love so-and-so, so love him, and then Jibril loves him. Then he, Jibril, announces in the heavens saying, Allah loves so-and-so, so love him. Then the inhabitants of the heavens, the angels, also love him, and then people on earth love him. And when Allah hates a slave, he calls Jibril and says, I hate so-and-so, so hate him. Then Jibril also hates him. He, Jibril, then announces amongst the inhabitants of heavens, verily, Allah hates so-and-so, so you also hate him. Thus, they also start to hate him. Then he becomes the object of hatred on the earth also. Muslim. Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, reported, Messenger of Allah appointed a man in charge of an army unit who led them in salat, prayer. He always concluded his recitation with Surat al-Ikhlas. Say, O Muhammad, He is Allah, the One, Allah-us-Samad, Allah, the Self-Sufficient. He begets not, nor was He begotten, and there is none equal or comparable to Him. 112 to 124. Upon their return to Al-Madinah, they mentioned this to Messenger of Allah, who said, ask him why he does so. He was asked, and he said, this surah contains the attributes of Allah, the Gracious, and I love to recite it. Messenger of Allah, Sim then told them, tell him that Allah loves him. Al-Bukhari and Muslim. Chapter 48. Warning against persecution of the pious, the weak, and the indigent. Jundab bin Abdullah, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, Messenger of Allah, Seb, he who performs the Fajr, dawn, prayer, comes under the protection of Allah. So beware, lest Allah questions you about what you owe him. For if he questions any one of you, and he falls short of fulfilling the duty which he owes him, he will requite, and then throw upon his face into the hellfire. Muslim. Chapter 49. Making judgment of people, keeping in view their evident actions and leaving their hidden actions to Allah. SWT. Abdullah bin Umar, may Allah be pleased with them, reported, Messenger of Allah said, I have been commanded by Allah to fight people until they testify that there is no true God except Allah, and that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah, and perform salat and pay zakat. If they do so, they will have protection of their blood and property from me, except when justified by Islam, and then account is left to Allah. Al-Bukhari and Muslim. Abu Abdullah bin Tariq bin Ashayam, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, Messenger of Allah said, he who professes La ilaha illallah, there is no true God except Allah, and denies of everything which the people worship besides Allah, his property and blood become inviolable, and it is for Allah to call him to account. Muslim. Al-Miqdad bin al-Aswad, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, I said, tell me, O Messenger of Allah, if I meet an infidel, and we fight together, and he cuts off my hands with his sword, then hides from me behind a tree, and then says he has submitted himself to Allah, shall I kill him after he has said it? He replied, do not kill him. I submitted, but O Messenger of Allah, he cut off one of my hands, and only. Then he said it, Messenger of Allah, then replied, do not kill him, for if you do so, he will be in the position in which you were before you killed him, i.e., he will be considered a Muslim, and thus his life will be inviolable, and you will be in the position in which he was before he made his testimony, i.e., your life will not be inviolable, for his heirs can ask for qisas. Al-Bukhari and Muslim. Usama bin Zayd, may Allah be pleased with them, reported, Messenger of Allah sent us to Hurakat, a tribe of Juhayna. We attacked that tribe early in the morning and defeated them. Then a man from the Ansar and I caught hold of a man of the defeated tribe. When we overcame him, he said, La ilaha illallah, there is no true God except Allah. At that moment, the Ansari spared him, but I attacked him with my spear and killed him. By the time we went back to Al-Madinah, news had already reached Messenger of Allah. He said to me, O Usama, did you kill him after he professed La ilaha illallah, there is no true God except Allah? I said, O Messenger of Allah, he professed it only to save his life. Messenger of Allah repeated, did you kill him after he had professed La ilaha illallah? He went on repeating this to me until I wished I had not embraced Islam before that day, so that I would have not committed this sin. Al-Bukhari and Muslim. Another narration is, Messenger of Allah said, did you kill him In spite of his professing, La ilaha illallah, I said, O Messenger of Allah. He said, out of fear of our arms. He said, why did you not cut his heart open to find out whether he had done so sincerely or not? He continued repeating it until I wished that I had embraced Islam only. That day, Jundub bin Abdullah, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, Messenger of Allah dispatched a contingent of the Muslims to a tribe of the polytheists. The two sides met in combat at one place. A man among the polytheists was so dashing that whenever he intended to kill a man from Muslims, he killed him. Amongst the Muslims, too, was a man looking forward to an opportunity of his polytheists' unmindfulness. He, the narrator, said, we talked that he was Usama bin Zayd, may Allah be pleased with him. When he raised his sword, he, the soldier of the polytheists, uttered, La ilaha illallah. There is no true God except Allah. But he, Usama bin Zayd, killed him. When the good news of victory reached Messenger of Allah, he asked him about the events of the battle, and he informed him about the man, Usama, and what he had done. He, Messenger of Allah, sent for him and asked him why he had killed him. He, Usama, said, O Messenger of Allah, he struck the Muslims and killed such and such of them, and he named some of them. He continued, I attacked him, and when he saw the sword, he said, La ilaha illallah. Messenger of Allah said, did you kill him? He, Usama, replied in the affirmative. The Messenger of Allah then remarked, what would you do with regard to the utterance, La ilaha illallah, when it comes before you on the day of resurrection? He, Usama, said, O Messenger of Allah, beg forgiveness for me. He, the Prophet, said, what would you do with regard to the utterance, La ilaha illallah, when it comes before you on the day of resurrection? He, Messenger of Allah, added nothing to it, but kept repeating, what would you do with regard to the utterance, La ilaha illallah, when it comes before you on the day of resurrection? Muslim Abdullah bin Utbah bin Masud reported, I heard Umar bin al-Khattab, may Allah be pleased with him, reported saying, in the lifetime of Messenger of Allah, some people were called to account through revelation. Now, revelation has discontinued, and we shall judge you by your apparent acts. Whoever displays to us good, we shall grant him peace and security, and treat him as a near one. We have nothing to do with his insight. Allah will call him to account for that. But whosoever shows evil to us, we shall not grant him security, nor shall we believe him, even if he professed that his intention is good. Al-Bukhari.